All right, so get this. Today we're heading to Stirling, Scotland,
Oh, excellent choice.
a city that's like overflowing with history and stunning landscapes.
It really is.
Our guide for this deep dive, it's a Substack article
Oh, cool.
called Top 10 Places to Visit in Stirling from Love Scotland.
I love that Substack.
They call Stirling the gateway to the Highlands. And just looking at the pictures in this article, I can totally see why.
Yeah, it's right where the lowlands meet the highlands, you know.
Oh, really?
It's been a strategic stronghold for centuries, actually.
Whoa, I didn't know that.
Probably why it played such a key role in the wars of Scottish independence.
Oh, of course, yeah.
Those battles really shaped the nation's destiny. Big time.
Okay, so our deep dive today is about more than just pretty sights.
Mm-hmm.
We're talking about places that witnessed, like, epic clashes, royal dramas.
You got it.
The article starts with Stirling Castle, and I have to admit, the photos alone are giving me chills. It looks like something out of a movie.
It's incredible, isn't it? And it's not just a pretty facade. Stirling Castle was a royal residence.
No way.
Yeah, saw its fair share of intrigue.
I bet.
Think Mary, Queen of Scots. She spent time there.
Wow, really?
And you can actually walk through her restored chambers.
Oh, that's awesome.
It's pretty incredible, you know? A way to connect with history.
Yeah, so we're not just talking about gazing at old stones.
Yep.
We're talking about stepping into the shoes of royalty. I'm picturing lavish rooms, maybe a secret passage or two.
Maybe.
It's amazing how these places can, like, bring the past to life.
It really is. And don't forget the views.
Oh, right.
Perched high on a volcanic crag.
No way, a volcano.
Stirling Castle offers those panoramic vistas, you know? The city, the river Forth winding through the landscape. You can even see the distant mountains.
That's incredible.
Imagine what it was like for the monarchs, you know, to survey their realm from up there.
Oh, yeah, that would be something. Speaking of breathtaking views and powerful figures, next up is the Wallace Monument.
Oh.
My inner history buff is freaking out a little. Sir William Wallace, you know, the Scottish hero who fought for independence. They built a tower in his honor.
They did.
I bet that climb to the top is worth it for the view alone.
Oh, absolutely. But the monument's more than just a scenic lookout. Inside, there's a visitor center
Oh, cool.
that delves into Wallace's life, separating the myths from the actual history, which can be pretty fascinating.
I bet.
He's become this legendary figure, and it's easy to get caught up in the romanticized version of his story.
Totally, yeah. Okay, so this isn't just a quick photo op.
No.
We're talking about a deeper dive into a pivotal moment in Scotland's history.
Exactly.
And from epic battles and national heroes, we move on to something a bit more charming. Stirling Old Town. I'm picturing cobblestone streets, quaint shops, maybe a pub or two.
You got it.
Ah,
Stirling Old Town is a place to wander and just soak up the atmosphere. And keep your eyes peeled for those historical gems tucked away. Down those winding lanes, you know? Like the Church of the Holy Rood.
I don't think I've heard of that.
This church has been standing since the 15th century,
Wow.
and it's seen a lot of history, including the coronation of King James VI of Scotland.
Wait, a king was crowned in that very church.
He was.
Talk about a direct link to the past.
Right.
It makes you wonder what those walls have witnessed.
I know.
Okay, this is already shaping up to be an incredible trip.
Yeah.
But I'm curious, how do we go from the charm of Old Town to the intensity of a battlefield?
Oh, good question.
Because the article mentions the Battle of Bannockburn site.
Yes.
And that was a pretty major event in Scottish history, right?
Right. This wasn't just any battle. Bannockburn was a turning point in the wars of Scottish independence.
Oh, wow.
Robert the Bruce led the Scots to victory against the English, and the site today has this interactive visitor center
Really?
where you can really immerse yourself in that moment.
So we're not just reading about the battle in a textbook.
Yep.
We're talking about experiencing it, feeling the weight of that clash. I'm starting to see why Stirling is considered a place where history comes alive. Now, this next stop is a little different. The article mentions the University of Stirling.
Yeah.
I know it's a renowned institution, but is there something particularly special about it in terms of our exploration?
Well, the University of Stirling is known for its stunning campus.
Well,
Modern architecture blended beautifully with this natural landscape,
oh, wow.
which includes a picturesque loch.
Oh, very cool.
And they even have art installations scattered around the grounds, so it's a feast for the eyes as well as the mind.
So even a university visit in Stirling becomes an adventure.
Okay, my mental map of this city is getting pretty exciting. From castles to battlefields to a scenic university campus, I feel like we've barely scratched the surface. What else does this Love Scotland article have in store for us?
We've got so much more to see. Remember that Church of the Holy Rood?
Oh, yeah, in Old Town.
Well, it wasn't just a church, you know.
Really?
It's where they crowned a few Scottish monarchs. Oh, wow. In that church.
Yep. Imagine all that ceremony.
I'm getting chills just picturing it.
Yeah.
Being in a place where kings and queens were crowned. It's a lot to take in.
It is. The article also mentions the stained glass windows.
Oh, yeah, the stained glass. Are those from the 15th century, too?
Well, some of the glass is more modern, but
Yeah.
stained glass is a really old tradition. They used to show biblical scenes.
Oh, right.
Adds a layer of, artistry
Oh, yeah, definitely.
and symbolism.
Like a visual history lesson
Yeah.
right there on the glass.
Okay.
Okay, next up is the Stirling Smith Art Gallery and Museum.
Yes.
I love museums. And this one sounds like a mix of art and history.
You'll find works by really famous Scottish artists.
Oh, cool.
Showing off that artistic heritage of the region. But it's not all pretty pictures. There are exhibits about Stirling's social and industrial history.
Oh, wow.
You can trace the city's changes from way back when to now.
So it's a chance to understand the people and the things that shaped Stirling into the city it is now. That's what I love about exploring a place. It's not just about the sights. It's about the stories behind them. After all this history and culture, I need some peace and quiet.
Uh-huh.
Like
Fair.
King's Knot sounds perfect.
Oh, yes, the King's Knot. A historic garden
Oh, nice.
with a really cool design. Dates all the way back to the 17th century. Imagine royalty just, walking through those hedges,
Yeah,
enjoying the fresh air, the views of Stirling Castle.
soaking it all in.
It reminds us that history isn't all battles and politics, right?
Right.
Sometimes it's just finding a moment of peace.
I can totally see myself relaxing in that garden, letting my mind wander back in time.
Mm.
These places really can transport you.
They can.
Speaking of beautiful landscapes, next we're going to Trossachs National Park.
Yes.
This is where Stirling, being the gateway to the Highlands, really makes sense.
Right.
The Trossachs are perfect for anyone who loves the outdoors.
Oh, I know.
Hiking trails, cycling paths, lochs, and you might see some amazing animals.
Imagine rolling hills, forests, the sparkling water of Loch Lomond.
Okay, hiking trails. I'm sold. I can already see myself exploring those trails, breathing in that fresh air. Maybe I'll even see a deer or an eagle.
You might. The Trossachs are a chance to reconnect with nature, experience Scotland's wild side.
It's all just a short trip from Stirling, too.
That's right.
It's like 2 vacations in one. We've gone from a historic city to a beautiful national park.
I know.
Talk about variety. And our last stop is an iconic piece of engineering, the Forth Bridge.
Oh, yes.
I've seen pictures,
Yeah.
but I bet seeing it in person is amazing.
It's awe-inspiring. It's a UNESCO World Heritage Site, shows off the best of Victorian engineering. The ironwork, the sheer size of it,
It's huge.
it sticks with you.
I can picture myself right now, standing on the banks of the Firth of Forth, just looking up at that bridge, amazed by what humans can build. What better way to see it than from a boat?
You'd get a whole new view. You see, Stirling's more than a historic city. It's a gateway to adventure, beautiful landscapes in the heart of Scotland.
I am overwhelmed by all the incredible things we've learned about. Stirling has everything. History, culture, nature, engineering. How do we even begin to wrap up this deep dive? I'm ready to pack my bags. Stirling just seems to have it all. History, culture, nature, engineering.
It does, doesn't it?
I-
And we've only just scratched the surface. Even from this quick look, it's clear Stirling has so much to offer.
I know. Before we go, though, I want to leave our listeners with a thought.
Okay.
Remember Stirling Castle
Oh, yeah, up on that crag.
and those amazing views? I wonder what stories those old stones could tell.
It makes you think, doesn't it? All those years of history, battles, coronations, just people living their lives.
Exactly. And it reminds us that history isn't just names and dates.
Right.
It's about people.
Hmm.
So, to our listeners, keep exploring.
Yeah.
Dig deeper into the stories that grab you.
Mm.
And maybe even plan a trip to Stirling. You never know what you might discover.
And remember, Stirling's just one part of Scotland. There are so many other amazing places to see, each with its own story. It's so true. Keep that sense of wonder, keep looking for adventures, and keep learning.
Couldn't have said it better myself.